Good morning, investor and corporate. Welcome to SET Digital Roadshow Year-End 2023 Performance Review. This session will run about 45 minutes, including Q&A. Company will start the session by 30 minutes presentation, followed by 15-minute Q&A. During Q&A, investor may leave your question in meeting room chat box or use raise your hand function. We will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. May I now invite the SIAM Cement Public Company Limited to start the presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the presentation by SCC. My name is Wachara, and I have my colleagues with me presenting as follows. I guess we have about 30 minutes for presentation. We have approximately 35 pages to go through, so we'll be very brief and reserve some time for Q&A. Thank you. Next page, please. Okay. Next page, please. So what we'll do is we'll go through the results for full year 2023 and highlight some of the initiatives that we are doing. Thank you. Next page, please. Sorry for the minor technical issues. Yes, thank you. We have to go to page 4, please. Okay, so in general, revenue for 2023 was down over 10%, and we attributed this to overall softness across the region, particularly in the chemicals pricing. And at the same time, on the right-hand side, if you look at the sales segments, you see that chemicals is 30+%, cement is 30+, and packaging is almost 30%. In terms of chemical sales, because this is a global product, very little of our chemical product goes to China. In fact, we are exporting 50% of our chemicals products, while 50% remains in Thailand. Okay. And on an asset basis, you'll note that the asset base in Thailand is only 50%, 51%. And a growing majority is in Vietnam and Indonesia. And these three countries combined is about 91% of our asset base. So we are a de facto growing ASEAN company. Next page, please. Okay. With sales down, EBITDA was also down by a similar portion. While you will note that profit for the year was up, this incorporated the non-recurring, non-cash transaction as a result of the merger between SCG's logistics business and JWD. Thank you. Next page, please. Okay. So we mentioned earlier that the chemicals is currently in a trough position. I'd like to show you this page that shows you the relative position of where we are over the past decade or so. We are currently in a trough whereby the naphtha to PE margins are trending below $400. The significance of this is that it's basically below industry cash costs. However, we do have products that allows us to be somewhat profitable relative to our peers, and my colleagues will highlight this in the later part of the presentation. Thank you. Next page, please. Okay. In terms of financials, you'll note that on the top left-hand side, cash has dropped from 90+ billion to 60+ billion. We attributed this to the usage of cash to pay down the debt for our subsidiary in Vietnam. So this is a proactive measure in order to reduce the higher interest rate debt there. Okay. And the second point here is that the majority of our long-term debt is at fixed rates, between 3 to 4%. So it's very competitive, and we are in a solid financial position. Next page, please. In terms of capex and investment, CapEx pretty much peaked in 2021 and 2022. This is because we are basically completing the construction of our LSP plant in Vietnam. CapEx last year was somewhat normalized at 38 billion, and going forward, we expect recurring CapEx to be in the range of 40 billion plus minus. And this is not including the acquisition by our subsidiary, SCGP. Thank you. In terms of highlights, there's 3 points I'd like to highlight to you. One is that the company has begun the test run process of the LSP plant in Vietnam. That adds a 1.7 times capacity to our chemicals business. Secondly is that in terms of trading, we note that the current share price is trading at about 0.9 times price to book, which is below the industry norm or the SCG norm 15-year average of 1.3 times. And lastly, in terms of chemicals supply going forward, during the past 4 years, the industry has been impacted by the 5% growth in supply per annum. So, 4 years of 5% is 20+%. Going forward, particularly between 24 to 26, we're looking at only 2.5% supply growth. So halving of the supply. So that is somewhat of a tailwind for us going forward. Next page, please. And lastly, beginning in 2024, we have a new CEO, Khun Thamasak, who was previously the CFO of SCG. Thank you. Next.
All right, so on next section, I will take some of the field piece for the new CEO business direction and the SCG Chemicals updates. Let me begin with the new CEO green growth business strategy that we embed our the green growth strategy into all the subsidiaries and also with the profitability and return as well. Additionally, we also do the agile organization that will be more explained in the next page, please. For each subsidiary, we embed a green growth business and direction into the business model. For example, for the SCG Cements and Green Solutions, they focusing on the low carbon cement and about the increase of the alternative fuel usage as well. And for the SCG packaging, we would like to share the target to after 100% of the recyclable for the packaging sales. And the SCG Chemicals, we also do the target for the green polymer to achieve the 1 million tons in 2030 for the green polymer sales. The new business after that about the SCG Clean Energy, and that we focus on the power generation capacity, not only the megawatt growth, but also in the innovation. For example, the Rondo business that we will share the details that my colleague will share as well. The next, please. And this is for the example for the agile organization that SCG will do the spin-off each subsidiary. For example, for the left-hand side, the SCG packaging that's listed in the 2020, and on that time last year, they already grew over the revenue about 45% from 2020 to the 2023. So these are the agile organization, each business subsidiary can do the accelerate growth for financial execution and also for the board decision. Thank you. And next page, we will show about the SCG chemical business. For the SCG, you may know that the chemical is quite the major part of it, of the total consolidated financial. So the chemicals last few years that in the deep trough, but chemicals can do the provide the margins and can get over the commodity price from the HVA or high value added product that we can have the almost 40% of total sale last year, and we do the downstream business with the PVC fabricated to contribute more margin, and we do the green polymer sales that we can achieve growth about 40% year on year compared to 2022, and do the operational excellence from double the staff and technology, for example. And next page will share about what can do during the deep trough. You may see that the last year we do on the bottom that the commodity price is lower than the industry cash cost. However, we can do the survive in the deep trough with the HVA that contribute more 100 US dollar per ton above the commodity, and also top up with the green polymer sales to do the $150 per ton over the commodity price as well. This is the position we can do to overcome the industry cash cost and deep trough last year. And this page will explain more that when we compare for the last trough 2012 and compared to the last year. Last year, just for you to know that the PE gap or the PE naphtha just lower than the 2012, but also we can achieve almost the 14,000 for the million baht for the EBITDA level with the two cracker RRC and MOC in Thailand. However, going forward, we can add more the 1.7 capacity of the PE PP from the LSP to do the three crackers, both Thailand and Vietnam. And that is the direction that we can going from the last year with the three cracker in a few months. And another portion about the SCC chemicals that we focus is about the SCC green polymer. You may see that the global demand about the commodity grade is 2% or 3% growth. However, the recycled polymer global, they have growth about 2 times over, maybe 7 or 8%. So the target that we would like to achieve about the green polymer sales is 1 million ton in 2030. And last year, we already achieved 200K tons of the green polymer sales. And the driver for the green polymer, we have focused about the 4 pillars. The first one is about the renewable, that we have joint venture with the Braskem in Brazil to produce the bioethylene-based production plant in Thailand. The capacity is about 200K tons, and we expect to FID the end of this year. And another one we call the recycle, that we have expansion in the European country because the European country is mandate and regulation driven for use the recycled material. So we have acquired 2 leading company for the mechanical recycling. One for the Portugal, we call the C-Class, and another one we call the Class Group in the Netherlands. That we aim to leverage the technology and know-how from the European country to the Asia as well. Not only do the mechanical recycling, we also do the advanced recycling or polymerization in Thailand, that we already do the pilot plant and aim to scale up for the commercialize to do the circular naphtha used as the feedstock for the cracker. And one more, the pillar that just like mainly part we call the reduce, is about to use our own technology, we call SMX technology, to do the lighter weight for the polymer, that we cooperate with the MNC or global consumer brand owner to do the use our the SMX technology polymer as well. Thank you. This is the example for the collaboration with the brand owner, for example, for the Lion or the P&G, because the SMX technology that we can reduce the plastic or polymer use, but we can remain the stiffness and strength property, and also do for the CO2 reduction as well. This is just for example for the HVA or high value added product that SCG chemicals do the last year. This is we call the investment in the acetylene black that we joint venture with the Denka company in Japan, that we would like to do the acetylene black production in Thailand about the capacity of 11,000 tons. The acetylene black came from the upgrading byproduct from the existing cracker that we use. So we produce the acetylene black, and this is we use in the battery for the lithium-ion battery pack and used for the EV, because the acetylene black is just like the high voltage and is high conductive material to use. In this, you can see on the right hand side the cathode and the anode, and the black one we call the acetylene black. We already do the FID and expect to produce commercialize in the next 2 years. And the bigger one for the SCC chemicals is about the LSP, or the Long Son Petrochemical, the Vietnam project. That last year we already started up the downstream plant, and in the December we already started up the upstream cracker, and we plan to execute the COD this month, but unfortunately we have some technical difficulty for the main part, so the COD will be postponed maybe in the mid of this year. Thank you.
Okay, this section I'll talk about the initiatives of our strategy towards the green growth strategy. For cement and green solutions business, we actively use and increase the proportion of alternative fuel. And last year we achieved about 40%. We also target to reach about 50% by this year. And the benefits of alternative fuel over the use of coal is that we can transform ourselves into the decarbonization pathway. That's the one thing. And also improve our production process through the use of alternative fuel. So we can manage the fluctuation of the coal price during that time, which is may varies from time to time. That's the key benefits. And we also increase the AF proportion through 3 key areas. First one is about the machine modification. Second is about our logistic backhauling, as we have 5 cement plants over Thailand, so we can get the benefits of transportation and get back-to-back and hub and spoke and transport all the AF through each plant. And last one is about the palletization. We build our AF into one portion and then easier to transport as the energy pallets. So that's all about the update of the AF. Next slide, I'll talk about the low carbon cement. As we already updated about decarbonization, and in terms of cement and green solutions business, we have the pathway and have the flagship products, which is the low carbon cement. And last year we have the penetration rate of about 81% in Thailand, and that for Q4. And then we are going to increase the proportion of this. And currently we are just released the second generation of the low carbon cement, which can release less CO2 reduction in the production process. And CO2 reduction of the second generation can be reduced about 15 to 20%. And the benefits of the low carbon cement, it's about a lower cost of our production because we adjust the formulation as well. But the strength is unchanged, so we can deploy more and more and update more in the next generation. And the third generation will be released by 2025 or 2026 with the CO2 reduction of about 30 to 40%. Next is the smart living business. We not only do the cement, but we also have the smart living business, which is about the building material that provide consumer or customer with the better living. We also provide the high value added products, and this proportion is keep increasing. Last year, the proportion of the revenues is about 13% of the cement and building materials revenues, and about 50% of the sales revenue driven by high value added products and new products development. And in the graph on the right hand side, there's a 4% increase of the revenue of sale from the smart living. And the example of the products in the next slide is that we pick up into two areas, which is the left-hand side is smart home living and smart building. In the smart home living, we have the solar roof solutions which can save the energy of the home. And also we take care of the elder through a do care application or make it more safety and security for them. And we have, for example, more is the active airflow system, which can release or make it better for the ventilation of the household. And for the smart building, we also have the energy management through the SCC air scrubber, which is our flagship products and the innovation breakthrough with our partnership as the Enverit. It can save the energy of the building by about 20 or 30% and increase the efficiency of ventilation in the building. Next slide will be about the distribution and retails. We expand our retail business through the partnership with the leading retailers in ASEAN. For example, in Indonesia, we have the stake at the number 1 and number 2, which is the name is the Mitra 10 and Depot Bangunan. We have some stakes there, and then in Laos as well. And the rationales why we expand our business into this, because we think a localized preference will be more adjust and customized to local customers there. So we think this is the best fit for our business model there. And next slide will be about our new business, which is the SCC Clean Energy. As we already updated some of this into our analyst conference or recent presentation, but this one I would like to summarize more about the business. If we think the SCC Clean Energy can be a sizable business unit in the future with the 3 key aspects there. The first one is about the green power generation. We have the private PPA, government PPA, and we expect to increase about 3,000 megawatts in the following next 5 years. Right in the middle is the heat energy storage. We have the technology breakthrough with our venture that we have the equity stake there called Rondo, and we have the heat storage battery with the Rondo, which will be described in the next slide. And last one is the future in green energy, which can be more effective to the grid modernization that we can exchange the power through the open grid. And next slide is about the Rondo that I just mentioned earlier, and Kun Suthatip just pointed out in her section that what is it? The Rondo heat storage battery is the technology innovated by Rondo, which is the technology breakthrough in the US. And it can store the heat of around more than 1,000 degrees Celsius into the heat battery there. And then the role of SCC there not only have the equity investment, but we also provide and become the thermal media supplier for them, and also be the exclusive commercial partner in ASEAN. And you may ask, why heat battery is important? There's an analysis of Tesla tell there that the heat storage battery proportion can be sizable, and it's about 60% of the total global energy storage. So we think this is the breakthrough technology that can enhance our decarbonization pathway. And you can take more information through the video QR code presented here. Next slide. It's provide more details of the Rondo, what in the future that it can be tapped into many aspects. For example, we can plug in with the government PPA or private PPA and can scale easier with the Rondo, with the Rondo heat storage. And next slide will be about the megawatts expansion. Like Kun Suthatip just said that we not only aim for the megawatts expansion, right? But we also have the technology breakthrough just mentioned earlier. But in terms of megawatts, we also expand as well. And we also have the side deal in the pipeline of about 410 megawatts. In Q4, we just achieved 270 megawatts. And in terms of ESG roadmap, as we have the target of 20 and 50 net zero, and currently we already on the track to achieve that, and on track with the science-based target of about 25% reduction from 2020 this year. And that's the more detail of the energy. Power and low carbon cement, and this proportion are three key drivers to go into the net zero roadmap. Lastly, we also accredited by global standards, for example, Dow Jones Sustainability Index. We already the world's #1 ranking for 10 years and top 3 leader for 14 consecutive years since 2008. And besides, we also get the AA rating for the MSCI and the top rated for Sustainalytics. That's the examples of credentials that we have been achieved.
Thank you for joining, and we look forward to meeting again in the next quarter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this session has come to the end. Thank you very much, investor and corporates, for joining the conference. If you do need further detail, please feel free to drop us an email.